Enter the Gungeon is a bullet hell roguelike, meaning every time you play it, it's a different experience, having different items and even different bosses at points. It's very similar to like Binding of Isaac and other roguelikes, but it's much more fast-paced, which I really like about it. This game also has a ton of references to other games, which is also another cool fact about Enter the Gungeon. It has 4 playable characters to start off with, and 2 to unlock in its initial release, but with its newest update, it has even 2 more characters that you can unlock and play as. And this game is hard. This is one of the hardest roguelikes I've played, as it took me a while to even just beat it once. And even beating it now is still pretty tough. You have 5 floors and an extra 6th floor if you can get past those 5 floors the second time, or the first time and then doing it the second time. And even the 6th floor is like really tough. And there's different modes and different things that you can do. There's so much exploration. There's so many different rooms. There's all these different unlockables. And personally, I haven't 100% completed because it's really hard to 100% complete roguelikes in general to unlock stuff. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff to unlock. I've bought most of the stuff in the shop and unlocking most of the stuff that is kind of easy to get, but there are some guns that I haven't gotten, so this review isn't really, I have gotten everything, but I've gotten, I'd say, a good 90% of the guns and items in this game. And the name Enter the Gungeon really goes to its name, because everything is guns, whether it's the teleportation areas, which are chambers, the floors are different bullets as they're in the different sides of the chamber, as the first floor is called Chamber 1, second floor Chamber 2, and so on. And there's even secret chambers, which are Secret 1, Secret 2, Secret 3, and Secret 4. And yeah, there's so many different like possibilities and ways that you can go. There are 3 different bosses for each floor, and pretty much everything is just gun based, and I just love it. Like even the enemies are bullets that shoot bullets as well. There's even a gun that is a bullet that shoots guns that shoot bullets. It's just so crazy, but I love it. There's so many cool things in this game, and you start off with nothing, but you unlock so much, and it makes your character have all these more powerful and better quality guns that you get in the next runs that you do, so that you can actually get to the 5th floor and beat that, and then next time maybe get to the 6th floor. And the story for this game is that you're in this Gungeon. Your 4 characters have died some terrible death, and they're sent to this area called the Gungeon. Now, if they want to come back to life, they have to kill their past in order to continue to live and to be living again. So they go into the Gungeon and they make the bullet to kill the past, and they shoot themselves with the gun with the bullet that can kill the past, and shoot themselves, and you go to their past in order to change their past to make sure that they continue to live and escape the Gungeon. So yeah, and each character is kind of based off of a different game, plus they have their own past, making each one unique and different, as they all start off with different guns and different items as well. Like the hunter, you have a crossbow and a dog. The marine, you have a walkie-talkie that can give you ammo, and a helmet which gives you 1 armor. And you have the convict, which gives you a sawed-off shotgun, and this photograph, which every time you get hit, you actually can deal more damage once you for a short period of time. And then you have the pilot, who can carry 3 active or passive items, and or no, I think it's no 2 active items, and he also starts with a rusty lockpick, which has a 50% chance of unlocking a chest without you having to use a key. And he also has this other ability that gives him discounts on shops. But in return, he has one of the worst starting weapons in the game, being very janky and having very bad accuracy. So kind of makes up for it, I guess. But yeah, each character is completely different, and they have their own past and other stuff like that. Like the Hunter's past is kind of based off of Wolfenstein, the Marine's past is based off of Doom, and the Convict's past is based off of Hotline Miami, while the Pilot's past is kind of based off of Galactica, I guess. It's very different than the other ones and kind of doesn't prepare you. It's probably my least favorite past out of all of them, because it's just, you're in the spaceship and it's nothing like the actual game, and it's kind of weird, but that's just one of the problems that I had with it. But some of the characters are hard to unlock. As I said, there are 2 unlockable characters from the first part of the game, but then since there was an update, I guess there's 4 now. And the first 2 you can only unlock after getting to or beating the 5th floor the first time, and then you can unlock them. In the robot, in order to unlock him, you have to bring this like TV, or this broken TV, to the 5th floor from the 2nd floor's elevator. Really annoying stuff, but once you do it, it's so satisfying, because they're some of the best characters in the game, and they're really fun to unlock because they're not like the guns or the items. They're their own character, which you can play as. Although the 2 new ones, you do have to spend some money to play as them, because they are a bit more different and overpowered. They are still really good and a challenge to unlock. But yeah, even every run's different. There are these cells that you can unlock if you can find the cell key throughout the floor or whatever, and you can actually save these people who can help you in the I guess kind of the overworld, or the, not really the overworld, but like the hub area before you start before you enter the Gungeon. There's this hub area where at first it's empty, but you can find people that you can save. Some of them don't go up to the surface, while others kind of stay in the Gungeon and can help you out. Like there's this vampire girl who only stays in the Gungeon because I guess the surface is too bright for her, even though I don't think it's outside, but she stays in the Gungeon and can give you cursed items, but for a cheap price. And the thing with curse is, if you have high enough curse, enemies will be jammed, which makes them twice as much more powerful and having a lot more health, but they do give you more money in return. But these characters that you can find in the cells are really helpful and gives more exploration to the game. And every floor is completely different, having different enemies, and secret floors are also really cool to find yourselves, or even looking them up online, because they have their own unique bosses, and it's really tough. There's this dodge roll mechanic, but that's really the only thing that you have, unless you have like some special item. But there's really no, you either have to decide whether to weave or to dodge roll, because some bullets you kind of can just weave through and out, while others are, you have to roll over them in order to actually dodge them correctly. And there are some really tough bosses that you have to kind of manage the two at the same time. And yeah, like one of the hardest bosses in my opinion is the resourceful rat, which is the third secret floor, and I've beaten him once, but that was it, and I couldn't even beat. He has like this punch out scene as well, It's based off of Metal Gear Solid, where you're fighting against him on top of this Metal Gear rat, I guess, as it's Metal Gear, but kind of with like a rat face to it, and just one of the references to this game. But yeah, there's so many like different guns that are based off of games. Like there's a Tetris gun, there's like a bunch of guns from like Metal Gear, there's a bunch of guns from like Doom and Mass Effect and like Half-Life. All those games there's references to, and that's kind of what I love about this game, is that there's just so much randomness and it's so fast paced. Like the thing that I really didn't like about Binding of Isaac too much is that like you have to constantly backtrack. Like maybe you didn't find an item but you found the boss room and you kind of want to get the item first, and you have to walk all the way there and all the way back. But the teleporting mechanic that they added in here makes things a lot more easier, plus you just move a little bit quicker than I feel like in Binding of Isaac and stuff like that. And there's also different runs that you can do as well. There's Rainbow Run, which gives you a rainbow chest at the beginning of the chamber, but you can only pick one out of the 8 items that are shown there, and that's the only item you can get. You can't open any other chests on that floor, and it's very unique and cool. Then there's also like a bunch of other ones. Like there's the Blessed Run, where you have one gun but it changes randomly to other guns, and you have pretty much infinite ammo. It's just you have to manage. You can get a really bad gun or you can have a really good gun. It just depends on your timing and stuff, and you really just want to focus on the passive and active items at that point, because the gun that you get from chests don't really matter at that point. But stuff like that you have to actually unlock by, like I said, getting those different people that actually provide you those different runs. And some of them you can unlock at the get-go, some of them you have to unlock after beating the game or beating someone's past. So yeah, and some of the pasts are really tough and can be really annoying, because when you start the pass you only have 3 hearts, and everything that you gained you don't have anymore, and it's really annoying, but you have to kind of know what you're up against in order to actually have a good time. And some of them are harder than others. Like one of the hardest one is the Bullet, which is also an unlockable character, and his past is pretty much based off of Legend of Zelda, Link to the Past, and you fight with the wooden sword against both Wizro and Ganon, which is Ganon, and it's so hard, especially because most of the bullets that Ganon give you, or most of the bullets that Ganon shoots, kind of surround him, so it makes it really hard to get those melee attacks, because you don't even have a gun, you just have a bronze sword, or not a bronze sword, yeah, a wooden sword that doesn't even shoot beams of the sword beam or whatever, because it's not the sword that the bullet usually has. So yeah, really hard, but once I beat that boss it was just so satisfying, and that's the thing with this game. It can be really stressful, but once you get it, very satisfying. And another thing that's stressful about this game is the game's crashed on me multiple times. Luckily throughout the updates they did fix most of them, but there still are some here and there that break the game, and it'd be like, oh, the software was closed for some reason. I'm like, really? But luckily they actually throughout the updates they also added the feature that if your game does crash, you just start from the beginning of that floor, or the last recent floor that you were on. So if your game does crash, it's not the end of the world, and you don't have to start all the way over, but you do have to start on that floor. And each floor kind of takes 10 minutes, depending on the floor. Like the first floor you could probably do in like 5 minutes, but later on they get longer and harder, so you have to spend more time, and they can take up to like 10 or even 15 minutes. But yeah, it's really just progression, and you have to manage your health, manage your keys, manage your money, manage your ammo. A lot of managing, and it's just a lot of stress. But once you get over it, it's really satisfying, and it's really just a fun game in general. Also has co-op. The co-op is a little annoying because you don't share health, but you do. If your friend dies, you waste a chest by reviving him, or you can revive him by beating a boss, or by using the heart cookie that the cultist, who's the second player, has. But it also is fun with 2 players. You also have a boss rush, which you unlock by getting I think all the elevators. Which in order to do that, you have to do like some quests to get the elevators. Like for the second elevator, it would be like you need like 50 coins and 2 keys to trade in, and then the elevators just give you the ability to go to that chamber, which I don't really recommend. Going through the entire game is much more ideal because you'll have all the items and stuff, but you do meet a person in one of the cells that actually will give you a starting gun for when you do the elevator, and some of those starting guns can be actually pretty good and useful for the run. So they're generous enough to give you that if you find that one guy who will provide you for it. But yeah, overall, a lot of cool references, a lot of cool guns, a lot of cool bosses, and yeah, my favorite part about this game is just all the references and stuff. It is a hard game though, and I've spent like a good, I think, 170 hours or something like that on this game, and yet again I still haven't 100% completed it, but I'm very close to it, as there are some achievements that are hard to do in order to unlock those last few guns or items. But overall, a really fun game, and I highly recommend it. I think sadly the developer sale I think has ended. Might have been today, might have been yesterday, but yeah, if you are interested in this game, I definitely recommend it. And if I had to rate this game, I'd probably give it a 9. It's really fun, really hard, but you get used to the enemies, you get used to the bullets, you know when to weave and when to dodge roll. You can master this game, and once you are able to do that, you just have a fun time knowing all the guns and having the best guns and just destroying everything in like one shot, even with some of the better guns in the game that you have to unlock by doing some crazy stuff that you have to do. Like even if you look up like how to get like all the guns, like it'll show like I think Wikipedia even has it, like it's like Gunpedia, and some of the things you have to do is like crazy. And one of the guns you have to unlock by completing using every other gun, and that's the last gun that you'll get, but might be a while for me to get that because I'm still missing a couple other guns. But overall, like I said, really fun game. If you're looking for a roguelike, this is the game to get. It is I think it's like $15, but might be on sale, so yeah, definitely check out for it. It's one of the most like best sellers on the Switch eShop, so if you haven't gotten this game, like I said, I highly recommend it. Really fun, even has co-op, tons of references, and really makes you, I guess, a better just player in general, learning from enemies, learning when to do this or do that, and knowing your items and whether to take them or not, or to take one that's better than the other, and knowing your situation. Everything like that just helps you with pretty much. And it's kind of weird saying that video games can help you, but this definitely does, especially management, like I said before, managing your health, your keys, your money, your ammo, everything. You just have to manage, and it can help you out in actually real life. So that's the thing. But anyway, though, thank you guys all for watching. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and stay tuned for more reviews right here on Nick. Bye.